Miriam was frustrated with the search. Harry had been missing for 2 weeks, and there's no clues. It just didn't make any sense. They saw him on the doorbell camera walk up to the door, step inside, but in their entryway camera, the door never even opened. You'd think it would be photo manipulation of some kind, some video editing. But the company that Cami used backed up everything on a server so they could compare the timestamps, the video, it all matched up. So there was no editing. So where did Harry go? He couldn't have disappeared. It's one of those alcove doorways. So what happened? And Miriam lost her temper. She started yelling at the search and rescue people. She started yelling at the cops. So they sent her home. And now she's trying to figure out what to do with herself. So many things remind her of Harry. You also don't realize how much a person does for you without even saying anything. She keeps losing her glasses, only to find them where she last had them, not where she normally finds them. The only thing she can figure, Harry kept moving them to where she could find them. She didn't realize how much he did for her, and how many things she did for him. Just the things you do as you evolve into a long-standing couple. Little things you don't see a point in saying. Like her shoes. She's always tripping over them. She's pretty sure Harry used to just move them off to the side. Like her glasses. Pretty sure Harry just kept putting them back right by her book. Or always the remotes right there, right by the chairs. She thinks she needs some coffee. Yeah, it's late in the day. Not like she's going to sleep anyway. She walks into the kitchen. Harry picked out most of everything. He had a code for everything. In their lemon yellow kitchen, there's hot appliances, which are all in hunter's green, which for some reason the blender counts as a hot appliance. She never figured that one out. So it's hunter's green. Cold appliances are a lemon cream. She doesn't know why, doesn't really care. They work. It works color-wise, and the appliances work. She was never one much for cooking. Cup of soup here, making a roast. Harry was the cook, though. So, she's been surviving on delivery. Tonight, though, she has time to cook for herself. And so she takes that time. Grilled cheese sandwich and tomato soup. Whatever comfort meals. And something easy she can do for herself. She watches a little TV, picks up her book and reads, plays on her phone, and it's just, she can't focus on any of it. These amusements used to do so much for her, but now they're doing nothing. She can't help but wonder why Harry ran off. But she can't figure out how he would have anyway. But you can't have something like this happen without having doubts creep in. They've been together for 20 years. Did he find someone else? But she can't believe it. There's no way. Harry loved his life. If anybody would have strayed, it would have been her. She's the one with the opportunity. He worked from home. She had the office. And sure, over the years, somebody's always tried something. But it's just not her. She loves Harry. And now he's gone. She can't help but blame herself. If only she had done the errand. She just didn't feel like it. And Harry, being Harry, was just like, I'm going out anyway. I'll take care of it. So he went by Cammy's to pick up the cake pans. And nobody saw him again. She really wished she knew what she did. At least that's how she feels. Something she did was wrong. She ran him off. Something. She doesn't know. She wants to know. Well, it's about time to put things up, set things aside, and go from there. So she cleans up a little bit, moves her shoes where they're supposed to be after stumbling on them for the umpteenth time. Just all the doubt, the fear, keeps boiling up. She walks through the house, locks the doors, checks the windows, makes sure they're all locked. Harry was the one that normally did this. She's trying to get used to doing it. The other night, she left a window wide open all night. Came downstairs and it was cold. Heater was running all night. Just so frustrating. So she walks from room to room through the wreckage of what is her life now. The frustration, the anger, the self-recrimination, the blame. And there's no one else to blame. It's her. Eating at her. So hard. She doesn't want to do this to herself, but she doesn't know who else to throw it at. So it just eats. Self-confidence. All of that. She's just about ready to turn out the entryway light when she sees a shadow at the door. Just underneath the door jambs, you can just barely see the light, and somebody's moving. She jerks open the door, and there's a little kid in fear. She's frightened. All this goes through her head in like no time. Just as fast as you can think. That's not a kid. Something's wrong. She's afraid. She slams the door. Mark here with Neon Bard. Just would like to ask a little favor. If you're still here and still enjoying, give me that like and subscribe. And if you feel so led, why don't you share it with someone? Thank you. From the other side of the door. Can I come in? I'm all alone. Miriam doesn't fall for it. There's some uncanny quality to that voice. Something that tells her it's wrong. That's not a child. And for some reason, it makes her think of Harry. And all that doubt, self-recrimination comes back. This is because of what she did to Harry to make him leave, is why this monster's at her door. She opens her mouth, hesitates for a second. No. Quietly. Barely was able to get it out. And the knocking started. Just 3 knocks. Rough. Loud. That child should not be able to knock that loud. I need help. I'm all alone. I already... No. Find somebody else. But I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I said no. Okay. But that shadow is still sitting there, shifting from foot to foot. She can see it just barely move under the door. She's terrified. That ice goes down her back. At first she thought it was excitement. She thought it was Harry. He'd finally come home. She thought she could forgive herself. But there it was. A manifestation of her self-hate, self-blame, just sitting there, waiting for her to let the monster in. 3 more knocks. I said, go away. But I'm all alone. I'm scared. I'm the one that's scared. Please, I just need to use your phone. I can't. Not tonight. Go to Bob and Mary's, just down the road. And yet the shadow's still there. It won't leave. Miriam stands there, watching. And suddenly she realizes she hadn't locked the door. She dashes forward and hits the deadbolt. Not that she thought that thing could force its way in, but still, it made her feel safer knowing that it was locked, that it was behind that door. The minutes crawled by. She just sat there watching. She realized that she'd been being stupid. She could just call the cops, but she was afraid to leave the door. What if it opened it? Or broke it down? She didn't want to walk away. She couldn't. Frozen with indecision, fear. She couldn't think of just letting it go. There was no way that she could leave it. Not the door. It just kept eating at her. The fear. And it just wouldn't go away. She knew what she had to do. Just walk over and get her phone. It's right there at the chairs. Little table in between. But that was 10 steps too far. She couldn't do it. She was afraid to do it. She was afraid of leaving the door. And so she was rooted. Absolute terror. Barely able to talk. And just these thoughts rolling through her head. Dark black clouds. A recrimination. Of doubt. Blame. Fear. Just cycling. Almost like something was sifting through every bad experience she ever had. Skinning her knee as a child. Her and Harry's first fight. No memories of the good things. Their wedding day. Their first date. Their 10th anniversary. For some stupid reason, they went to Cuba. Not the holiday they thought they were going to get. But it definitely was fun and definitely worth it. But no, not those memories. It's buried under the car accident she had 2 years ago. Not even her fault. And luckily all she got out of it was a strained wrist. Harry never once blamed her. She called him, said she had an accident, and the first thing he asked was if she was okay. Not how the car was, not what she did. But those thoughts don't come to mind. The good things don't show. This thing, it's bringing them out of her. It wants them. It wants all that hate, fear, negativity. It wants her to feel it. To know that Harry's missing and it's her fault. Knocking on the door again. Time after time. She's just standing there, frozen in the spot, staring at the door. She watches the door vibrate to the knocks. And the little voice, "I'm all alone. I'm lost." Echoes of what she feels like what Harry is going through. "Please, I just need to call my mommy. I told you. No. Go away." The interminable knocking. It just wouldn't stop. 3 taps. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. The only time it would even make a pause was when it was the little voice. "Please, I'm all alone." And Miriam just sat there, terrified. She put her back to the door and sat down. She wanted to know if that thing tried to make it in. She'd lost track of time. She wasn't sure how long this had been going on. And all of this black, dark thoughts surfacing. You know, maybe it wouldn't be so bad to open the door. Harry's already gone. What have you got left? Why not? No kids. You know, maybe he left because he wanted to. No, I can't believe that. Harry wouldn't leave me. Not like that anyway. I mean, they've been together since junior high. There's no way that he would just walk away. He'd at least tell her. Or is that what you want to believe? Is that what you hope? That little false hope? This voice in her head, it just kept saying stuff like that. It kept trying to dig her a hole. Dampen the fire inside. The will to resist. It kept trying to tell her that she wasn't good enough. That's why Harry left. That's why this thing at her door had her so scared. It just wouldn't go away. It just wouldn't stop. It just kept going. She couldn't give up. The one thought that kept her was not knowing what happened to Harry. That if she gave up, she wasn't giving up on herself. She was giving up on Harry. And she couldn't do that. Not after everything they'd been through. And then little things started coming back to mind. The good times. Buying the first car. Paying off the first car. You know, the little wins. Saving the money. And getting lucky. and they were able to buy this house. They didn't know anything on it anymore. Sure, they had to tighten their belts to do so. I mean, they were so far behind on the internet. They didn't have the internet until, what was it, 5 years ago? And they just used over-air TV. The few splurges they gave themselves was the phones and the tablets. That was their entertainment. I was lucky that the tablets could work through the phones. And when they ran out of data, they played board games, talked, read. Library saved them a lot of money. And then they discussed the books they were reading. You know, like boring old couple they were. Didn't go out to dinner often. Once a month. Date night. And that was normally to a coffee shop or a diner. No fancy restaurants. But it was always good times. And it was worth it now. And that's how she knows Harry wouldn't have left her. They were just getting their head above water. 20 years of marriage, and they were finally able to start paying for things. I mean, why? He wouldn't do that to me. Please? I'm all alone. And then another voice in the back of her head. Harry's voice. You're not alone, darling. I'm here. It was so close. She hugged herself. Not out of fear, not out of shame, but it felt like a hug from him. She stood up, gathered herself. Go away. But please, I'm all alone. I just need to come inside. No. Not tonight. You leave and don't come back. She didn't know where this strength came from. I mean, other than just the memory of Harry and not giving up on him. She would have given up on herself a long time ago, but not on him. He wouldn't do it for her. There's no way he would give up. She believes he's still fighting, out there somewhere to get to her. And that voice in her head was all the confirmation she needed. She'd stand this fight. She'd stand here by the door for as long as it took. I mean, eventually somebody's got to come by and see this little kid standing at the door. Her neighbors, they always seem to have an eye out for everything. Why not tonight? She summoned up her strength and looked through the peephole. That scared her, but not in the same way it was before. Whatever was on the other side of the door wasn't a little kid anymore. I mean, it was still in a black hoodie, black pants, but the hood was a foot taller than it should be from the shoulders. Like the neck had just gone long. The arms almost reached the ground. She was right. It was a monster. And it was staring at her through the peephole. Oh, you see me. I'm getting stronger. Don't worry. I'm sure this door is strong enough to hold me back. And a furious pounding on the door. From the distorted lens of the peephole, she could see the fists bashing. Something caught in her rind. The door wasn't moving as much as it should. Like that thing should be rattling off its hinges from the furious blows that this thing is giving it, and yet it's not. It's like a little child knocking on the door. It's weak. It's frightened. It's going to lose. As long as I don't open this door, it'll lose. Because it can't come in without me opening the door. It can't come in without me opening the door. Well, that's easy. She walks over to her cell phone, picks it up, and the knocking stops. 6 a.m. All night, she's been here, listening to this thing pound on the door, wail for its mother, wail for her phone, just for it to be let in. All night, she had withstood that barrage. No, she won, and she'll always win from here. It was at this point she resolved to use every scrap of knowledge she could find to find out what happened to Harry and what happened tonight. What was this? And here we are at the end. I hope you enjoyed your time here. And just wanted to give you another reminder that if you're still here, please give it a like and subscribe. And share it with your friends if you want to. Leave a comment. I just appreciate that you're still here.